Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today I want to talk about Modern Warfare 2, specifically more positives about Modern Warfare 2, because I feel as though with all the videos on my channel, all the videos on other people's channels and stuff you see on social media, there may be this perception that Modern Warfare 2 is already dead in the water, and that Modern Warfare 2 has absolutely no hope, the game is already chalked, and buckle up boys, because it's going to be a long 2 years before Treyarch's next game. I do think there is still hope for Modern Warfare 2, I do think that the game itself, from its core foundation, has potential, but there's so many, we'll call them issues that Infinity Ward is going with, and a lot of them just really don't make a whole lot of sense, but I do think that Modern Warfare 2, with some changes, can actually be a fantastic game. The game I want to give you guys a comparison to would be Call of Duty World War II. When that game came out, Sledgehammer Games didn't really change up a whole lot about the COD series, but they did change up the perk system and replace them with basic trainings and divisions and things like that, and the player base was a bit skeptical, but Sledgehammer saw their vision, and while their vision was fundamentally chalked at launch, like I'm trying to remember like exactly how it worked, but I think if you wanted to run like akimbo pistols, you had to use the infantry division, but that was inherently bad because it made pistols even worse, and like it was just a horrible system for really customizing your class and really trying to tailor your own playstyle into the game. Well, they eventually fixed it. Several months into the game's life cycle, they added more divisions, they added more basic trainings, they revamped how the system worked, and suddenly Call of Duty World War II, in my opinion, had some of the best creative class customization and freedom, and the game itself was a lot better as a result. To this day, I still enjoy Call of Duty World War II after all those changes, and I think we might find ourselves in a situation where Modern Warfare 2 could end up going down the same road. Now, you guys have heard of shower thoughts, right? You're just randomly standing there in the shower and suddenly this idea pops in your head, and this popped in my head, and I want to hear what you guys think about it. Is Modern Warfare 2 designed for televisions? And that may sound kind of weird, right? Because we talk about how Modern Warfare 2 is kind of designed for campy players, for newer players, the casual players, the sentinels, you know. But is Modern Warfare 2 actually built for people that play like in their living room on a TV? Because think about this, right? Why in the world are footsteps as loud as they are if everyone's wearing a headset, which I would estimate over half the player base is probably wearing a headset, right? Well, is it because they're trying to design the footstep audio for people that are just playing through their television speakers and they have to be so damn loud that even somebody across the living room with a screaming kid in the next room can tell exactly where you are? Is that the reason why? The mini map, right? Is this designed for somebody playing on like a 60-inch television where it's actually a massive pain in the ass to take your eye focus from the center of your screen all the way up to the top left to relay information and then go back and forth? Is that why the minimap doesn't work? Like, it actually kind of makes sense to me if you think about it. Like, are they really building this game around for television? I don't know. I would love to hear what you guys think about that down there in the comments. But moving away from the minimap and footsteps, because we know those are things they can easily change. Like, in the beta, there were options for, like, in private match, where you could just make the minimap work again. Like, they could very easily, at the flip of a switch, make the minimap normal like it's been for the past 15 years in the COD series. They could easily do that. They could lower footstep audio. They could take dead silence and they could make it a perk. And speaking of perks, I think that the new perk system, similar to the basic training and division system from World War II, I think it can be reworked and be made better, possibly by rearranging where certain perks are. I think that's definitely important. I think dead silence needs to be in there. I think Ghost as an ultimate perk really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It should probably be a basic perk, but there should be other more powerful basic perks as well for you to use, so just not everyone's running around with Ghost 24/7. I think they could increase the base perk count from 2 up to 3. That would offer a lot more customization and a lot more freedom for players when they're putting together their classes. There's potential with this system. I don't mind the idea of a perk system that it rewards you for popping off at the very beginning of a match. It rewards you for, you know, playing the game, playing the objective, getting your score, becoming more powerful as the match goes on. There are inherent flaws there, however, if you're joining a game late, especially with disbanding lobbies. They have said they're going to be working on that, and if they do get rid of disbanding lobbies for the full launch of Modern Warfare 2, that would be incredible, because that's one of the biggest parts of skill-based matchmaking is, you know, it takes a long time for you to find a match match to begin with, sometimes they have to go well outside like your ping parameters to the point where you're playing at like 80 or 90 ping just so they can find you a lobby that's sweaty enough, and at the end of your match, when you're already having no fun, they make you go back to the main menu, research again, and repeat the process where you have to find a super sweaty lobby and whatever based on how well you've been doing recently. If they get rid of the idea of disbanding lobbies, once you're in a lobby where your ping is good, maybe you're having some good banter with the other people in the game, and the lobby does not disband, then that would be fantastic. That would be such an improvement for Modern Warfare 2 and for the COD series in general, because you guys know ever since Modern Warfare 2019, we have had those disbanding lobbies. We've had so many issues with skill-based matchmaking. So that's a potentially positive change. We'll have to wait and hear from Infinity Ward as to exactly what they plan to do about that. When it comes to the weapon platform system, people are wondering, like, how is it going to work with post-launch weapons? Like, are they going to add a post-launch weapon that is just a weapon platform for something like the M4? Is it just going to get thrown down there into the tree? Who knows? I mean, we really don't know. But I will say this, the weapon platform system is actually pretty good in my opinion. And the reason why, and I talked about this during my initial review of the Modern Warfare 2 beta, one of the things that sucks about COD and the COD player base, we suck here, guys, you and I, we suck, is meta slaving, right? COD fans especially, you guys know how it is, man. Like, as soon as someone realizes a gun is good, like the M4, for example, back in Modern Warfare 2019, the STG or the MP40 in Call of Duty Vanguard, going back to Black Ops Cold War to this day, the 74U, like, once fans realize a gun is really good and broken, you know, you see that gun being used by 3 of the 6 people on the other team in virtually every single one of your lobbies. That's frustrating, and I wish there was more variety in the COD franchise as someone who cares about challenges and progression and unlocking camos and things like that. Well, the weapon platform system kind of fixes that to an extent. Obviously, it's never going to be a whole fix because, you know, the COD player base is the COD player base. Gamers are inherently more min-maxy nowadays than they were way back when. But if you take something like the example we got from the beta, you know, if you want to use the M16, you had to level up your M4 to, like, I'm gonna make up numbers, level 9 to unlock the F-TAC Recon. Then you had to get your Recon up to level 14 to unlock the Hurricane. Then you had to get your Hurricane up to level 15 to unlock the Icarus Light Machine Gun. Then get your Icarus Light Machine Gun up to level whatever 13, and then you finally unlock the M16. That's pretty neat. That's a neat way of going about it, in my opinion, because if you want to use a certain weapon, you have to use a bunch of other weapons as well. I think that's cool. It encourages variety within the Call of Duty community, and I would like to see more stuff like that being added. Now, of course, again, everyone is more min-maxy nowadays than ever before, so eventually people are going to realize, like, hey, forget about all those other guns, the base M4 is still the best gun, and people are going to run it. It's whatever. But eventually they're going to get bored, and they're like, you know, I'm going to try the M16, or maybe I'm going to try and get diamond assault rifles, and to do that, I need to get the M16. Well, to get the M16, I have to use the M4, I have to play around with the F-TAC Recon, I have to play around with the Hurricane submachine gun, the Icarus Light Machine Gun. Like, it does encourage players to get outside of their comfort zone to an extent, and I think that's actually pretty awesome. So if they continue to take that system and expand upon it and maybe make it a bit more clear and definitely redesign the UI for the beta in Modern Warfare 2 is not fantastic, but if they can make it more clear and more streamlined as, like, exactly how it works and how you go from point A to point B, that would be fantastic. And I mentioned it earlier, but when it comes to a game like Modern Warfare 2 or just video games in general, challenges and progression are paramount. We've been talking about core gameplay systems here throughout this video. They can fix that stuff pretty easily, but at the end of the day, you have your core gameplay and then you have everything else. I'll call the core gameplay the cake, and everything else is the icing on top of the cake, right? You want yourself a good cake. No one wants old, moldy, shitty cake, but at the same time, you want really good icing on top of that cake too as well, right? You want to have robust challenges. You need Prestige mode to come back. Infinity Ward, come on. We are less than a month away from launch and they haven't so much as mentioned it. They act like it's impossible that now that they do seasons, that seasonal prestige just has to be part of COD nowadays. Black Ops 4 had seasons. They had battle passes and everything. Guess what? We had normal prestige and we liked it. Can we go back to that? That would be fantastic. Adding in a proper 100%er, locking really cool customization pieces like operators and weapon camos, weapon blueprints, calling cards, prestige icons even. Like, adding so many cool stuff behind really difficult challenges would be fantastic. I would love to see that. I would love to see a proper 100%er. Infinity Ward said it themselves when they were talking about Warzone during Call of Duty Next, but they want to give people in Warzone things to do besides just win the game. Well, guess what? Multiplayer fans want that too. We want things to do in the game besides, Cool. How many kills did I get that game of TDM? You know, you always want to be working towards something while you're playing the game. That is how COD has always worked, and a lot of those challenges and progression paths and things like that have sort of fallen by the wayside over the past couple of years as they've leaned much more heavily into the idea of the Battle Pass and into the idea of the in-game shop. And I'm not here to say that the Battle Pass is a bad idea. Battle Pass giving us free DLC and not making us pay for map packs, that's fantastic, but at the same time, you can't just keep ripping everything out of the game and just hollowing it out just because we're not paying for DLC anymore, right? If you want people to be engaged and buy more things from the shop, buy more battle passes, play the game more, impress your shareholders with more monthly active users, the game itself has to be fun, and the game has to have things for people to grind for. You need to only look at a game like World of Warcraft, which will give you the most absurd, mind-numbing, long and tedious challenges, and people will do them because they love the idea of progression, and especially if that challenge gives you a reward at the end that you can show off to other people in the game, they will enjoy it. You just have to make sure it's not incredibly tedious, like 300 long shots for the branding freaking Call of Duty Vanguard. I think they eventually nerfed it, but I quit the game well before that happened. You know, it wasn't really fun, but those are my thoughts on Modern Warfare 2. Is there hope for the game? For sure, there really is, but Infinity Ward has a very small amount of time between now and launch to make changes, but the thing is, a lot of these changes, which would fix the game at such a magnitude, are so easy. Make it so dots show up on the minimap, lower footstep audio, make dead silence a perk. You do those 3 things, just those 3 things, the game would be infinitely better. And if we're talking about like the idea of like private match settings, you could do that in like 30 seconds. You could fix the game so quickly for so many people. And obviously there's so many other, concerns and criticisms out there, which are still valid. But from my perspective, and I'm sure the perspective of many of you out there, normal minimap, quieter footsteps, that alone will fix so many problems with the game. And then making dead silence a perk, that would make it so game modes like Search and Destroy, new game modes are trying to push at us like Prisoner Rescue and things like that, like all those game modes become infinitely better now, and it's like, it's so easy to fix. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it's a situation where they intentionally, maybe I'm being pessimistic here, but it seems like a situation sometimes where they intentionally make things really bad, knowing it's bad, just so we can say, dude, what the fuck? And they go, we hear ya. Let's go ahead and fix that. And then they can say they're listening to the community, even if it was in actuality their entire plan all along just to make those changes. But who knows? I have no idea, guys. I'm getting kind of rambly at this point, so I'm going to wrap up the video here today by saying there is hope for Modern Warfare 2, and I can't wait to hear more from Infinity Ward, and hopefully that will happen sooner rather than later. But guys, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to subscribe if you're new around here, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.